guys, and welcome back to our channel. 3 months ago we posted a video on the fold-out bed we built for the van. We received a lot of responses asking for more detailed plans on how it was made. Well, last week I broke my leg and we're having to gut the van and rebuild it to better handle my 2 months of no walking on my leg. Since we're having to pull the bed out of the van anyway, we thought that this would be a great time to do a more detailed video on its construction. I'll put a link in the description below to this picture with all of the dimensions of the bed. And please join us next week as we rebuild the van interior for a better layout for me. We're really excited about some new changes. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this bed.
10 inches of clearance from the bottom, but it's the same height as the fender of the van.
Okay.
And basically, really what this would call for is piano hinges, but we live out in the country. I didn't have access to them, so I just had used what I had. Really needs piano hinges. But I have it hinged. A simple box frame with a brace in the middle. And these are all 1x3s, untreated. You get at the hardware store just to make it light. I think I'm about 29 or 30 inches from the wall of the van, but what I did, I put in a 2x4 spacer on each end, and it gave me a place to attach my hinges for the first part.
You can see it better when it's closed.
But also it gave me a standoff for the rear AC unit. This is the view from the top. See, there's just a block in there, and again, these are not the optimum hinges for this, but yeah, the mattress filled that gap just fine. These are just regular hinges, and it's basically a 3-piece deck construction because I want to have a backrest to lean back up on. So where the piano hinge will really come in handy would be on this seam right here. Look at it from the top. That's where the piano hinge would really be handy, is on that connection. And again, I didn't have it. This is not yet completed. I plan to come back and put piano hinges. Also, you see I have holes drilled. I was going to put a piece of rope through that, so that when you go to open the bed, you can just reach under the mattress, grab the rope, and pull it to lift it up. But basically, this is half of the bed. This is the under portion. These two boards together equal half of the bed. They come out and rest flat here.
Why is there a space there?
To have enough room. This space here is having enough room for the other bed to be able to rest on it. And I'll show you what the other half looks like. So again, this makes half of the bed, and when it was finished, this was also going to be attached to the other piece I'm going to show you now, which I have it disconnected. Alright, this bed, when it's completed, is about a 48-inch or so wide bed. So I just gave you the measurements for the first half of the bed. This is the second half of the bed, and this line right here matches up with the unpainted plywood that's in the van, and that probably should call for a long piano hinge as well. But that is another 21 inches. This is the rear facing wall that was against our bathroom wall, so it wasn't a full sheet. But this 2x4 here would sit just to the outside of the framework that's in the van. Let me stand it up for you. This is basically made to slide over. It slides over that frame that we have in the van. So that frame that's in the van sits inside of this.
When it's in couch mode.
Huh?
When it's in couch mode.
Yeah, when it's in couch mode. Of course, this is the front. I'm trying to minimize the amount of framing involved, so I just use the plywood for the strength in the frame.
And it's nice because that makes the entire underside nothing but storage.
Yep. So we slide in. You saw the brown drawers. We slide under there. So it has minimum framing inside. It does have a 2x4 down the front edge for strength, and there's a 1x3 block in the corners just to keep the corners sturdy. Don't know if that's really necessary, but it's worked for us. And this whole thing's made out of 3/4 inch plywood, so that gives it some strength being this 3/4. So again, the dimensions of this, the plywood is cut at about 20 inches by cheap tape.
Mm-hmm.
20 by 72.5, and of course that allows for the extra 3/4 on the outside all the way around. But I have this sitting on the inside to make it flush. And again, that piece of plywood that's mounted to the van will actually occupy this space right here. When it's down flat, it'll sit inside of this. And again, the height of this was just enough to allow it to sit over the fenders in the van. That's basically it. This is just a slide out portion.
Flip it around so they can see the front again.
This is the slide out portion of the bed. And in a minute, when I pull the other piece out, we'll show you how it looks out in the yard. All right, I have both pieces pulled out of the van. That literally took me a matter of minutes. The way I had this second piece installed in the van, pretty simple. I just used L brackets. I screwed into the legs, and then also use self-tapping screws. Make sure you check under your van for any kind of lines. Everything was good, but I just used self-tapping screws in through the floor. This is not a seat that's occupied when we're driving, so I didn't do any kind of a major bolt down for seat belts or anything because it's not occupied. But it's just enough to keep it from sliding, and that's all. That's the only function it needs to have. Again, the operation of this slides up. Now it's only on 3 legs right now because this third side is on the fender well of the van when it's installed. But to give you an idea how this works, let me put it back down for now.
There you go. And this is a better angle than you ever get in the van. That's why those brown legs under there, when we're in the van, we never bothered painting them, because from that angle you can't see these. Obviously, depending on how you do your van, you may want to make them prettier. And we also dyed the carpet, which is why one of those legs is kind of red.
Also, one thing I had, this was, again, not completed. We were in such a rush to use this thing. We got it functional and moved on. One of the things that I wanted to do, this is going under about a, 6-inch, 8-inch mattress.
Yeah.
It's a
regular
mattress. You're not going to feel
mattress.
any little imperfections in here, but one of the things I wanted to do was to take maybe a sheet of 1/4 inch or even Luan and place it over this sheet and have it attached just to this sheet. And basically it would be, this is a 2-piece, that's 13 inches to the back and 13.5 to the front. So basically it's half the bed cut in half, so each of them are 1/4 of the bed. But I want to take a sheet that size, I guess 26-inch-and-a-half piece, have it attached here so when you slid it in, the backrest would come up full height, or whatever measurements you need for your van. The idea being that when you sit on the couch, instead of having a low backrest, you'd have a high backrest. And then whenever you converted it, it would just drop down flush. Let me show you how. Now, again, I recommend a piano hinge here and a piano hinge here, which we never finished that. We just have cheap little hinges. From the end, you see it just overlaps. And again, what I was talking about doing was having this piece here be twice as long and only attached on this one side, so when it's in this position, this would continue up to say here and give you a longer backrest. And also this will slide farther in to make it more vertical. But that's how it looks from the side. And again, small little spacers here just to set it off of the wall of the van a little bit. Real simple. Now see if I can separate it. What now?
Okay. I know, it's almost a shame to throw it away now, isn't it? It's a shame no one's close enough to buy this bed.
Again, this is converted flat, and we never bothered painting the back half of it. But what this is the full width of what size bed?
A double bed.
Double bed width. By the way, I didn't show how this actually fits together. This plywood here is cut with an overhang. Sorry, show this fits together. I left this plywood edge up smooth, 3/4 inch plywood, and this part of the bed comes to rest in this corner, which means I had to leave enough of an overhang here on this board, enough of an overhang here to match the, I guess that's a 2x3. And once it's closed down, it drops down flush, fits in the groove. And again, for more of a permanent setup, you'd put a piano hinge here to give you something to pull. When you go to pull this piece out, it'll actually pull the back of the bed down. We just do it by hand since there's two of us doing it. You can play with those dimensions to get the pitch that you want. I was mentioning earlier about the luan, or the 1/4" plywood. I put a piece from here to here, and I only attach it to this half and have this half not attached, so that when you raise this up and it makes a triangle, you'll have a higher back, a full width back, so you can truly lean back. We were able to lean against the side of our van, but I think if we had the full backrest, it would have been a lot more comfortable, have more of a headrest when you're using it as a couch. And in that case, see here, I drilled some holes for cord to be there, but in that situation, you would have your cord. That's the explanation of our van bed build. We had several requests for a set of blueprints or drawings. It was easier to just pull it out. We're actually going to remodel the van anyway to make concessions for Jamie's bum foot.
Ow.
So, and also, when we built this van, we wanted to have the bathroom in the back. Now that we have our bathroom trailer we pull behind us, there's really not a need to reserve that space for a full-time bathroom. So
Now we can have a bigger kitchen.
Convert that to a bigger living space, bigger kitchen. But anyway, if you have any questions about this bed build, I'll try to put down below some of the measurements and dimensions of this thing. This is kind of a one-off. It just fit our van, but you can kind of tweak the idea. Have any questions? Let us know. Feel free. We would love for you to subscribe, and just stay tuned. Thanks.